Before we get started, I just want to thank you all for taking the time to watch my Mafia content, whether it's for Mafia 3, since the reveal back in 2015, or all the times I've played through Mafia 2, as well as most recently through Mafia 2 Definitive Edition, the Mafia 2 Definitive Edition review that I did, and of course, when it comes to the upcoming Mafia Definitive Edition game, coming late August, hopefully, and there should be some more information about it maybe by this weekend. There's speculation, rumors about the full trailer coming out at either PC Gaming or IGN's thing, either on the 13th or the 15th. Either way, I will do a breakdown video going over the trailer, as well as any information that comes out regarding Mafia Definitive Edition. Very excited about Mafia Definitive Edition, as most of you know. But before we get to your feedback, Samir wanted me to share this with all of you. Those of you interested, feel free and sign the petition. You can check it out below in the description section. So there was a lot of stuff that was left on the cutting room floor when it came to Mafia 2. And whenever they announced the definitive edition of Mafia 2, a lot of us were hoping that some of that would be restored, but unfortunately it was not. The definitive edition is nothing more than a remaster. But there's hope out there in the Mafia community, depending on the success of the Mafia trilogy as well as Mafia Definitive Edition, that maybe one day we might see Mafia 2 Expand Edition, maybe a remake of Mafia 2 with a lot of that cut content re-added to the game. So if you want to check out this petition and perhaps even sign the petition, feel free to do so. Thanks again to Michael, George, as well as Samir and others for putting this petition together. And like I said, if you want to check it out, click on the link in the description section. And if you want to help out with the cause and maybe get attention from Hangar 13 and 2K, feel free and sign the Mafia 2 Expanded Edition petition. With that out of the way, let us move on to your feedback regarding Mafia Definitive Edition. Once again, thank you so much to everybody that took the time to watch my thoughts video on Mafia Definitive Edition a week ago, and we're going to go over your comments. Now, the way the feedback goes is we try to stay on topic when it comes to your comments, and the only replies I'm going to read over are the replies directly to me. So if people reply to each other, I'm going to kind of ignore those, because that's to each other, that's not to me. But standard comments, of course, we'll read over and respond to accordingly. With that out of the way, let us get to your comments from Mafia Definitive Edition thoughts in this feedback video. Nick Jones says, GB, huge fan of the Mafia games. My favorite is Mafia 2. And he goes on to talk about things that are not exactly on topic with Mafia Definitive Edition, but I will quickly address it. Mafia 4, there is a leaked video that we did a while back over some leaked information that came out, may or may not be true. I will definitely cover Mafia 4, the next Mafia game that Hangar 13 is working on, as well as GTA 6, or the next GTA game that Rockstar is working on once we have confirmed information. I may or may not play the next Saints Row game. Just Cause series is probably outside the wheelhouse. I did attempt to play a little bit of Just Cause 3. It really wasn't for me. That's just the way it goes. We all have different tastes. Moving on to Wolfie, I kind of trust Hangar 13 not to mess this up since they got so much shit from Mafia 3. They did. It'd be a death wish for them to half-ass the remake of the original in any way, so I believe they're aware of how sensitive the situation is, and they're putting a lot of thought into it. I hope so. I hope that's the case, Wolfie. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt as well. I hope that they've learned a lot from Mafia 3. And I hope that the publisher, 2K Take-Two, is actually giving them the time needed for them to get the game as polished and pristine as possible, with as few bugs, glitches, and other issues. My only real concern is that they take their time. I agree. I want them to take as much time as necessary. I'm not sure how long they've been working on it, but I hope it's been a while since we're getting released quite shortly after the reveal, which I'm fine with, but I just hope they put out a complete and polished product. I concur, Wolfie. Because sadly, Mafia 3's reputation, despite being a good game in my opinion, is hindered by people's perception of it on a release, some of which people probably never finished or after having a few problems, so their perception of the game would be garbage, which in reality is a far better game than when it was released. And that's something I've talked about a lot regarding Mafia 3, is that it needed more time, at least 3 to 6 months maybe more, to get all those issues and bugs and glitches ironed out before it released. But Take-Two, 2K, probably pressuring Hangar 13 to get the game out for the holiday season 2016 back in October. That's why the game came out so soon, sooner than it should have, and that's why it had so many problems, even though the game had been, I guess, been worked on for already, 3 years, I think? But hopefully Hangar 13's learned a lot, and maybe even the publishers have learned a lot. Like, if you want a good impression, if you want to give the community a good product that's going to sell more copies, you got to give the developers more time to get it done. And hopefully that will be the case with Mafia Definitive Edition when it comes out, hopefully in late August. And if it does come out, hopefully it is good to go. Let's see, Hassan. Hello, Hassan. Let's see, I think they've learned some from the previous mistakes in Mafia 3. I hope they have. The main developer, Hayden, recognized the game could get repetitive in some parts and actually informed 2K to let the side stuff be optional. I remember watching the Mafia 3 IGN gameplay trailer. It looked amazing. Unfortunately, the main game had to be downscaled, but still looked good after a few updates patched it. Yeah, and Hangar 13, to their credit, they did fix a lot of the issues in Mafia 3, but they should have really went back and redid the skybox. The skybox was not good, but one of my few gripes about Mafia 3. Let's see, I've got faith in Hangar 13 and don't think 2K could allow another incomplete game out to the public. If they do, it's game over for the Mafia franchise, in my opinion. Would be hard to recover if things don't go well this time. And that's something I talked about in the Thoughts video for Mafia Definitive Edition, is I feel like that Mafia Definitive Edition is make or break for this franchise. If it's well received, if it's an enjoyable experience, faithful to Mafia City of Lost Heaven, it reviews well, it sells well, I think it's going to restore the fans' faith in Hangar 13, leading towards the next Mafia game, which is supposed to be Mafia 4. Definitely a lot of hope for Mafia Definitive Edition. A lot of us really want this game to be good when it comes out in late August. Thank you very much to San. Next we go to Diamond. Never played Mafia before, but it's nice to know that they're adding new stuff in the remake. And that's one reason why I think a remake to Mafia City of Lost Heaven has a much better chance of success than a remaster, because that's what we got with Mafia 2 Definitive Edition and Mafia 3 Definitive Edition. Those are remasters. Mafia 3's not so bad apparently, but Mafia 2 definitely needs some work. Next, let's go to Andy. Free Ride Extreme isn't just a free roam mode. You've got to talk to waving guys, do various challenges to unlock prototype cars, like the one outside your house. And that's absolutely right, Andy. I did not mention that in my thoughts video. I do apologize. So yes, Free Ride Extreme is more in Mafia, the City of Lost Heaven, than simply just free roam. So just wanted to clarify that. Tommy Angelo Jr. is excited, as am I. Gregor, hey man, I'm glad that you uploaded something about Mafia 1. Just can't wait till the 6th of June. Unfortunately, that got delayed till this weekend. Hopefully, I think it's June 13th, PC Gaming reveal. Also supposed to be something with IGN on June 15th. And either way, if there's new information that comes out, a trailer, like I mentioned, definitely going to be doing a breakdown of that trailer. It will not be a live stream, but I will do a trailer breakdown going over a full trailer for Mafia Definitive Edition. Hopefully, sometime this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, it'll be good. Let's see, Mr. Baba Django, GB, you should consider giving Saints Row 3 Remaster a go. I actually did. I know this is in the past, and I did actually stream Saints Row the 3rd on Friday, this past Friday. I enjoyed it, but I had tons of copyright issues. But for everybody else out there that's Saints Row fans, especially Saints Row the 3rd, I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. To compare it real quick to Mafia 2 Definitive Edition, Saints Row the 3rd Remastered is remastered done right. So D3T could learn a lot of lessons when it comes to remastering their games, especially when it comes to what they did with Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. But here's hoping that maybe a patch will fix that game. Next, we go to Cooper. It would be foolish of them not to include all the features that made people love this game. And I agree entirely with you, Cooper. I hope that they are faithfully rebuilding Mafia Definitive Edition from Mafia, the City of Lost Heaven, like they say they are. And when we play it, it's going to feel like what Mafia Lost Heaven would be like in 2020. And nothing is left on the cutting room floor, along with some other additional things added, which I am very much looking forward to. So here's hoping that we will not be disappointed with the trailer or with the game when it comes out in late August. Stuart, improve or remove the racing mission. I absolutely hated that mission, as do I, Stuart. And I hope that Hangar 13 has taken that into account when it comes to a lot of aspects of Mafia, the City of Lost Heaven, that haven't held up so well, including the racing mission. It definitely needs to be improved upon. The racing aspects improved. And one thing they did fix in Mafia City of Lost Heaven is they did add a difficulty setting later in a future patch that allowed people to change that setting from like as hard as it was to a little bit more manageable for most of us to actually get through the racing mission. Because for a lot of players, yeah, if you couldn't beat the racing mission, you gave up. You're like, screw this, I've tried it over and over and over again. It sucks. And a lot of people probably never finished Mafia City of Lost Heaven because of that racing mission until Illusion, which is 2K Check, now Hangar 13, added that patch many years ago in order to, add difficulty settings. So hopefully that's something that they're considering. Stuart again, having the main cast recast would make sense since you have mentioned the original cast is aged. It'd be cool if Tommy's original voice actor voices Don Salieri in the remake. So that's one thing we know very little about. There's some bits of information out there, nothing confirmed, but the original voice actor for Tommy apparently is not reprising his role as Tommy Angelo, which is unfortunate, but here's hoping that the new voice actor for Tommy Angelo does a good enough job, that he's passable, that by the time you're done with Mafia Definitive Edition, that you're okay with the new Tommy Angelo voice actor. I mean, there's been plenty of actors that have played Batman over the years in live action, cartoons, video games. So I guess it's okay that we have a new voice actor for Tommy, as long as they've casted the right person that does a good job. So I'm not going to pass judgment on the teaser trailer, on the few seconds we get with Tommy's voice actor, his new one. So I'm going to hold out judgment until either we see the full trailer coming out this weekend, I guess, or maybe just wait till the game itself comes out before I pass judgment one way or the other. But it's going to be interesting to see if they recasted the other characters like Don Salieri, Paul, Sam, everyone else. And hopefully if they had to, hopefully they got the right people for these various roles for Mafia Definitive Edition. Yes, Eddie, it is coming August 28th. Hopefully. See, Mafia 1 Remake would be online. Felix, I don't think there's going to be an online element to Mafia Definitive Edition. There could be. I just seriously doubt it. I think it's simply going to be story mode. But it doesn't rule out the possibility of a future Mafia game having an online component. Like, let's just say hypothetically, Mafia 4 has a story mode. Okay, but along with Mafia 4 story mode, similar to GTA 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2, there's an online element to it as well, which uses the same map. But obviously that would make sense because Hangar 13, much like Rockstar, is under Take-Two. And of course, it's another way to get microtransactions. So it's very possible that eventually we may see a Mafia online. If they do, I hope they tie it with a story mode version of the game and not simply just put out a Mafia Online by itself. But if they gave us technically two games in one, like Mafia 4 and Mafia Online, then I could live with that. As long as they learn some lessons from previous attempts at an online game, like with GTA Online, Red Dead Online, some other online games out there, and they do a decent job. And they don't make it too, money grabbing. They don't have any loot crates or any nonsense like that or RNG. Then I'm willing to give it a chance, but it just remains to be seen about whether or not online version of the Mafia franchise could work. Now, you could theoretically do a Mafia franchise online variant that includes all the maps like Lost Heaven, Empire Bay, New Bordeaux. And if the rumors are true about Mafia 4 being set in a version of Vegas, that map too, see, that would be kind of cool. You could go back and forth between 4 different maps. But right now it's a lot of hearsay, a lot of speculation, no confirmed information to prove it one way or the other. But for now, I hope they just focus solely on Mafia Definitive Edition being single player only. And finally, let's go back to Wolfie. He has a question that I want to ask all of you, so feel free and answer this question below in the comment section. Wolfie says this: does anyone else think that it should be released just as Mafia instead of Mafia Definitive Edition? Taking on the Definitive Edition just makes it sound cheap to him. Considering how the other two Definitive Editions performed, it's probably not a good marketing tactic. They should just treat it like a major release and release it with the original title as if it's releasing for the first time. So the original title of Mafia was Mafia: The City of Lost Heaven. Obviously kind of a mouthful, but I do see your point, Wolfie, about them simply just shortening it from Mafia Definitive Edition to Mafia or Mafia 1. But what I'm interested in what you all think about the title of Mafia Definitive Edition. Do you think they should just drop the Definitive Edition, or you think they should just call it Mafia 1 or Mafia The City of Lost Heaven? Your thoughts, your views, and opinions regarding the current title of Mafia Definitive Edition. Are you for it? Are you against it? Do you have a different idea entirely for a better title? Feel free and leave those below in the comment section.